and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids0147. I've got a bit of fluff on my canvas, that's what I'm messing with. But happy 14th of June, everybody. I hope you are all well. So today's section is section number 5. So we are still primarily on this half of the canvas, but what I thought I might try today is actually doing it the other way. Where's my craft knife gone? Everything in this craft room moves on a regular basis. It has its initial home and it has a secondary home. Does anybody else find that something has a home, but then it also has a place where you tend to put it when you finish using it, and it's its secondary home? So that is the section off today, but I thought, yeah, rather than leaning up for this top section, I would try doing it sideways, because that's what I do when I'm working with my easel, when I'm working in an evening with a large painting like this. So if I was doing this as a standard painting on my easel, then I would be doing it this way round anyway. So I thought, why not give it a go for this one and see how it goes. Plus it's a little bit of a change. It means that I'm doing shorter blocks, so the rows will be shorter blocks rather than longer ones. So let's vary it up a little bit. But I hope everybody is good and well. Of course, I've not got my comments ready and YouTube is showing me none. That's because I'm on the wrong channel. I was on my secondary channel after I've gone through, I go through comments and things pretty much on a daily basis, most days. But with the Whip and Waffle, of course, I don't respond to the comments until I'm reading them out. But I do on my other channel. So it just told me I had no comments, and I went in a panic that YouTube was having a moment. And I was like, I don't have time for a moment. I'm starting my Whip and Waffle. But no, it was me. So let's scroll all the way down. So I do still have the comment there from Grey Legrand. She mentioned in, I think it may have been yesterday's waffle, it might have been the day before's, but occasionally if somebody gives a suggestion that I actually want to do, I leave the comment there to remind me to do said suggestion, or to look something up, or something like that, something that I need to take an action. I like to sort of leave the comment there to remind me to do it. I don't always read them out again, but this one is a really good one. So Grey Legrand suggested on my decision wheel that I add in a free space, which means that I get to choose any painting from my stash when I click on that, if the free space gets chosen. And of course you can determine how many free spaces you might want to put in there or not. But I have added a free space to my decision wheel for my 30 by 40s, my decision wheel for my large paintings, and my decision wheel for my Paint Gem minis. Because then I've always got the opportunity to sneak in something that I'm really excited to do. So some paintings do still sort of sneak forward for a particular reason. So I've recently kitted up the Diamond Art Club Mystery early. In fact, Dreamer's Designs was as well, because I really wanted to see if the canvas was any better. It doesn't help I didn't have the newer version, but anyway, we're over that. The new ones are supposed to be better. And I will be sneaking in one of the High Colours Diamond Art Studio when they're back in stock. But that will be ongoing against another painting anyway. And then the last one that I am going to sort of sneak in is an Aura Lower painting. I want to sneak one of those in because I've done quite a few unboxings and I've got a few unboxings coming up, but I haven't actually done and completed one of theirs. So I will be kitting one of those up in July. I'm hoping to kit it up a bit earlier than July so that I can actually start working on it and, you know, alternate between whichever painting my decision wheel chooses for me to do. To help me get through a few more large paintings, but also just vary it up a little bit each evening. But I've not yet got round to kitting one up. So yeah, after that I do now have a free option on each of my decision wheels. So I just wanted to say an extra thank you to Grey Legrand because I love that idea and that really, really works. And you can put in as many as you want. So you could put in one free wheel for every X number of paintings you've got, maybe. If you've got quite a lot, gives you the opportunity to have that option. Maybe you could do some free options, but according to different manufacturers. So that's something I might add in actually, especially on my large ones, is add an option on my wheel that is just the manufacturer. So Diamond Art Studio, Diamond Art Club, Aura Lower, Cara Art. And if I get one of those and Dreamer Designs, then I choose one of their paintings to do. So it's sort of a free one, but it's down to manufacturer instead of just out of all the ones that you have. So that might be a nice option to do, especially for some of the kits that I have quite a few from quite a few different manufacturers. Might throw that in there as well, spice it up a little bit. Ina, she says, oh, I think I read this one the other day. I think I've done that thing where the last comment that I read, I haven't reacted to it, but Ina did say, she said, thanks for another great waffle. And she said she nearly got another section done this evening, but her cat decided to interrupt and lay down on her arms, which is what makes me think either she does it more than once or I have read this one out yesterday, but I've slept since then, so I'm not sure exactly. She says it is something that she often does when she's painting, and she needed some extra attention. She said she couldn't resist because she's sweet, and she's now decided to get some rest so that she can complete her section. Yes, I definitely read that one yesterday because I'm sure I remember talking about Luna deciding to interrupt every now and then when she just wants a little bit of attention. Jerry, she said this has changed. That has changed about her stash. So I think she left a comment a few days ago about her stash level. She said it has changed. She now currently has 9 in her stash and probably 7 more on the way. I don't know if it's bad that you're not sure how many are on the way, or whether that's a good thing and means you've had a nice shopping session. She says she has 2 sisters that are twins. She says, and she is the oldest. She said her sister, oldest by 5 minutes, and also the younger twin, got hooked on diamond painting and she's completed multiple paintings. She said the sister that got her hooked received some paintings gifted to her from someone that she works with, and is going to divide those up between her and her other sister. She said she also ordered another logbook because she wants the newest one. She says with her first order, she also ordered some stash accessories so that when she has enough to actually call a stash, she can note it down. She said she can't wait for them to come, she says, but she does live in the USA, so she knows it will be a little bit before they arrive. She says she's not worked with squares yet. She said, but one of her stash is a square that her sister has gifted her. She also says, by the way, thank you for pronouncing my name correctly. She said you would be surprised how many people pronounce it incorrectly. Well, I hope I got it right again by saying Jerry. That was my automatic way to pronounce it. Hopefully I still got that right because I can't remember how I pronounced it on the 7th. But yeah, because it's short. Jerry is like short for Geraldine, isn't it? That's what makes me go for a sort of J sounding G when I say it. Janine says, hi Rebecca. She says, long time worker and lurker. She loves to listen while she's working on her kits. She says she does want to share a tip. She says when sorting drills that you mix, she says use a UV light or a black light. She said it helps you to see the slight differences. She hasn't had a colour yet that it hasn't helped with. She says she just uses her gel nail polish curing light. She said it's a great multi-use for it and it saved her many frustrating hours. She said she hopes that this may help others as well. There you go. If you've got an awkward colour mixed up, see if you can find a UV light and use that. That's the rest of pot number 6, isn't it? Yes. The rest of pot number 6 is going in. I feel like I only filled this up yesterday. Maybe it was only yesterday. Had a couple of sections with quite a lot of white, which is good because there's a lot of them on this painting. So it's nice to know that a couple more are sort of filled in. This glue dot is rather sticky. I've also got one there with an air bubble. Let me get that out of the way before I accidentally just place it on the canvas anyway, because that's not my plan. Mumsy says she's finally caught up, and she said just in time it appears. She said yesterday she spent most of the time diamond painting and watching back-to-back waffles. She said she's having decking laid over the next 2 days. Exciting. She says she's really looking forward to being able to sit out and sorting her rockery area. Well, I hope the weather is nice for it where you are. I'm trying to avoid being outside at the moment. It is rather warm. It's not too bad once the shade comes over the house, but at the moment our conservatory is a cooking in the morning when the sun is first shining on it. It gets better as the day goes on. Daleen, she says hi there. She says they are planning their first vacation that they've had in a few years. They said they will be going down to the coast for 10 days in August. Oh, that sounds beautiful. Oh, sorry. I had my sound on my emails. Bad move. She said she also worked out that if she does her usual 30 by 40 sections on her Heaven and Earth design, she said she has 26 sections to do. That is really good going. She says this coming weekend and next weekend her hubby will be working, and they have a bonus day off next Friday, so she reckons that she will get a few extra sections done. So her target is to be completed by the end of June. That will be a nice sort of mini success story to have before you go away, to have your heaven and earth design finished and ticked off, and then enjoy your holiday and then decide what you want to do next. Donna, she says, as always, she says she loves my videos. Thank you, Donna. She says, unfortunately, she hasn't been able to diamond paint today because her daughter did refuse to have a nap. You've got to love that age when they start refusing naps. And that is me being sarcastic, because they can be some of the hardest days. Even if they don't need that nap, Mama needs that nap. She says, but she has been doing a little bit each day where she can, but she hasn't sectioned hers though. Well, at least by not sectioning it, you're still giving yourself that flexibility and you don't feel like you're behind, especially if you've got a little one that picks and chooses when their naps happen or when they decide they want one or not. Cat Lady says she was working at the library today and she only got back in at 3:45. So she's working on her smaller June waffle canvas, which is the tulips. She said she did do an extra section on her heaven and earth design last night, as she knows next week that she's working at the library 2 days. She says they might try and get away while the weather is good, while they have the good weather, so she's just staying ahead while she has the time. She says, hope you get some me time in the sun too, from Tina. Thank you. I mean, I prefer spring to summer. I like the nice breeze. I'm not so much for the really high heat, especially like we have at the moment. I love the light, but 23 degrees with a nice breeze is probably my maximum. So at the moment, while we're getting highs of like 28, and the breeze can't decide if it's going to blow or not, I'm looking forward to a little bit cooler. Though I'm not looking forward to the fact that our app says it's raining for like a full week next week. I'm not into the, raining all the time. We should be able to get the weather to work to our lifestyles. Do you not think? Do you not think that we should have it that it just rains in an evening between like a set time? Do you not think that would be nice? And then we could go asleep to the rain if we wanted to. The rain can decide whether it's doing a full downpour or just a slight rain. But it would be kind of nice to have dry days and let the nights be wet. Then we can get things like our washing done and all that sort of stuff, and take a trip to the bin without getting soaked. Things like that would be kind of nice. Amy, she says, make a list of books that you've read and have it on your phone, she says, so you know when you've read the book. Yeah, we do actually have a book journal as well, which I could print out and write everything in. The only thing is, most of the Mary Higgins Clark books I read from, in my 20s, in my teens probably as well. So the problem is I've just not done it from the day I started reading books, which was my teenage years. Amy also says, she says, just another tip with multi-placers. She says she finds if she's doing rounds, the placers pick less up with rounds. So she said, so a 5 placer, she finds they only pick up 4. Yeah, I think that can depend on the multi-placer and stuff as well. And of course, it might be more so when you get to bigger multi-placers. My 3 placer picks up 3 perfectly fine. Occasionally it catches a 4th, but that only tends to be very similar to my single placer picking up 2. Like, it's very few and far between. But I can imagine the bigger ones can sometimes get a bit more struggly with the rounds, because after all, they are bigger diamonds to the squares. Even if it is just a few millimeters difference, it can start adding up the more that you add in. Wondrous Natures says it looks very pretty. Thank you. I'm loving how it's turning out. I'm loving the little bits of colour every now and then. I don't seem to have that straight an edge though on this one. I don't know if it's just because of the way round I've done it or what. But hopefully it'll all nudge in a bit. Jackie says she's sitting there doing a section on her pansy basket. And she's giggling away, she says, at the Mary Higgins Clark conversation. She says she is so much like me, in that once she's in a book, she said that's it. Her mum used to have to come and physically shake her to come to meals because she literally would not hear her talking to her. She says also, now she's retired, there are many nights, she says, that are 3 a.m. or later. She says, or there were. She says, now she diamond paints, so she doesn't tend to read as much. I found that switching to audiobooks has helped me greatly. Even if I'm listening to an audiobook as I'm sort of going to sleep, it's not enough to stop me falling asleep if I'm tired. Whereas, of course, with reading, you know, you sort of have to force yourself to stay awake just to hold up the book because you're itching to finish it, and then you try and speed read. Plus, I do find the fact that it is a specific length of time and it tells me that length of time, that if it says 3 hours, I can make a decision knowing it's 3 hours rather than just going on the basis of, I'll just 5 more minutes, just 5 more minutes. I'll just finish this chapter. Oh, but that was an exciting ending. I'll just finish the next one. So yeah, I find that I get the enjoyment of books while diamond painting, and I find that I actually hear more, you know, and I do get the full book rather than speed reading like I definitely can do when I've got a physical book. Anne, she says she can't do audiobooks. She says she doesn't like people reading to her, as they don't sound like what she imagines the characters would sound like. Yeah, I do get that. I mean, if it's a new series that you've not read before, and you do have a good narrator that does change the voices between people, that can be good because you've not got a preconceived idea of how they sound, and therefore you're more likely to adapt the way the narrator says it. But it did take me a while to get used to the JD Robb. Okay, my camera has saved at some point and I'm not sure when. So just to possibly read out a comment for a second time. But Anne said she can't do audiobooks. She said because she doesn't like people reading to her because they don't sound like what she'd imagine the characters would be, which I totally get. Especially if it's a series that you've read before. I force myself with the J.D. Robb books to sort of keep listening to them, and it's definitely got to the point where, because the narrator is the same one through the whole series, I've now got to the point that I accept, you know, the way she does the voices and says it, even though there is still one of them that's a little bit wrong in my opinion, but she does so well with the Irish accent that I forgive her. Anne says she loves multi-placing, and a shop called Jaded Gem Shop has forever sticky tips that she sells. She says they work great. She got 2 7-placers. She uses 2 different pens when she diamond paints. She says one has a single placer on the other end, and the other one is a 2-placer that she uses glue dots in. She says the pen has both, they both have the 7-placer tips. She says she loves them. She says she does have to say thank you to me because she started reading the in-depth series and she loves them so much. Oh, I'm so glad somebody else has found the J.D. Robb in-depth series. I do absolutely love that series. It's probably one of the only ones that I do every now and then. I go back and listen or read the series again. I don't quite go back to the beginning anymore because I have listened to the first one in the series about 4 or 5 times. So I am planning another mini reread soon before the new book comes out in September. I think they come out in February and September when the books come out. And yeah, I love it when there's a new book out. So yeah, I might go back a few, but there's like more than 50 now, I think, probably even 60 books. So if you find the series, find the first one. If you enjoy it, know that there are many more to listen to, and I love them, absolutely love them. I actually have them all on Audible. I purchased them all so that I can listen to them again and again. Amy says she's super excited. She has just placed her first order with us. Oh, thank you, Amy. Hopefully that will reach you soon and that you really enjoy it. Really enjoy your goodies. Sorry, I was just checking. I've just got a text through about a collection for the US Post for today. So my daughter's keeping an ear out for it, but I just wanted to check. They send an email with a tracker as well that tells me how far away the driver is. Mysterious Days, she says, wow, she says it's 1 week in. She said she's had a blast so far and she can't wait to continue. She says she thinks her thing with audiobooks is that she not only can't concentrate, but she says she also needs the right voice to listen to. She's found she has comfort YouTubers when she needs background noise, and she doesn't necessarily care for the content. She just likes listening to them. Love it. I do get that though. There has been a couple of books that I've sort of liked the idea of the storyline and listened to the sample, and I have noped out of there and gone, nah, I can't listen to that book. I can't listen to that voice for 7 hours. She said she pretty much exclusively listens to Mr. Creepypastas for creepypastas. She has given an explanation. That's good. She says, for those that don't know, creepypasta is scary stories. Oh, okay. I'm so glad an explanation came, because otherwise I was going to be like, what? She says they're written by those who like listening to horror/scary themes. She says they're really interesting if you do have the guts for them. She says she recommends Mr. Creepypasta's story time. She's finished her section in 30 minutes. In this weather, I dream for a 30 minutes. She says, and then she finished off the video while doing the boring adult task of the dishes. Oh, I'd rather diamond paint for an hour than include the dishes in my hour. But it's good that I'm happy that I was able to keep you company while you got that tedious job done. Because it is one of those things that just needs doing. It's like I've been out twice in this heat today just because, you know, clothes do need to get washed. But I've decided I'm not doing more than 2 loads. I've put 1 load on each line. We have a big garden, so I've managed to stretch it across. I've put 1 load on each line, and I'm not bringing that in until it cools down. It can stay there, and more can go up tomorrow instead. Excuse me. Sarah Bagpuss Morris, love the name. She says that she's loving the waffle. Thank you so much, Sarah. Sorry about that little shortened break there. I got the email through for the guy who picks up the American Post. I can see how far away he is. So I decided to go out and do that. Make sure the orders got out. I mean, my daughter would have got the orders out, but it saves her dealing with Luna barking while he comes and picks it up, because she likes to say hello to him every single day. So Jaina, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she hopes all is going well. She says she's back in the saddle with her painting. She said she was in dire need of a break yesterday to work on some things, she said, around the house. And wow, she says, does putting stuff away make you feel better? Yes, that is high on my list at the moment. It always seems to get crazy around launch weekend. And of course things, you know, either need creating or stock topping up sometimes if there's big orders for things, or we were low on stock before launch. And of course there's deliveries that have turned up ready for launch that sort of haven't yet found their permanent home, because we never know how many will go and therefore how many we need to find a home for. So that is on my list for this week, to sort of straighten everything up. I did quite a bit yesterday, so I've got nearly there. I just feel as though I need to get the straggly bits done. Hence I'm doing this waffle sort of in an afternoon rather than doing it in the evening. I'm trying to squeeze in my waffles. Today is also our anniversary, so I'm trying to ensure that I have the evening free when hubby gets home. So we will get there bit by bit, but I do think I will be taking a few days this week after getting orders out to get the house straight before I then decide on my next plan of action of things to get ready. She said, interesting conversation about single placing versus multi-placing today. She says she is a 9-placer or bust kind of girl. She says with her rounds, but she can only single place squares. She says in regards to symbols, she said she usually calls the target symbol a bullseye. She says probably from playing way too much Wii Sports Resort, and she tends to refer to up and down arrows as upsies and downsies because she's a child at heart, she guesses. Love it. I love the names that's for symbols. I love the fact that that conversation is sort of coming, you know, around from the first discussion of it. I can't wait to hear what some people sort of call symbols. She says she hopes that I have a wonderful day. Thank you. Liz says she's ran out of 2 colours for her canvas. She said, but a quick email to Diamond Art Club, and she got a reply back from them within 10 minutes, and replacements are being sent out. Awesome. She says, although she has a few in her spare storage, she said they are not Diamond Art Club ones. So the replacement drills from them was the order of the day. She says, luckily, she has found a couple of Diamond Art Club kits that have the required colours. So she is going to borrow from them until she gets replacements. She says, being in the UK, she does suspect that it will be 10 days. She says, although she does have plenty of time to complete the canvas before the 30th, with 4 sections, including the one she's doing. She says, but she can't wait that long. I get your impatience. If you've got kits with the diamonds already in them that you can borrow, then I would be doing exactly the same thing. She says she's cooking on gas. Love it. Sparkle It Up. She says she loves watching all of my videos. She says she's currently working on Pride by Jojo's Art from Diamond Art Club. Awesome. That sounds like it will be a nice colourful one, which I always love. Lady Dax, she says yes, she is Paulette, and her daughter is Pete Jelly on the group. I thought you know, I just always second guess myself when I say it out loud on the video. If I was just sat reading it by myself, I wouldn't have questioned myself in the same way. She said she's been thinking that the background on my ribbon is brighter than hers. She says, but we are both doing the purple one. She says, then you said that your background is 3865. Hers is 3756. Mine is also 3756. I do apologise, Paulette. I've obviously just gone for what it used to be, what I figured it was, which was the standard white 3865, but it isn't, and it definitely isn't the white when you see it all in the bag. It definitely is sort of the green tinge to it. So yeah, mine is 3756, the same as yours. What might be making mine look brighter is I do have 2 big sort of studio lights above my space, which does brighten everything up. I know sometimes I have a daylight bulb in my craft room for when I'm packing orders and things, but sometimes when I do need to use my trimmer to cut something quite precisely, quite often I do turn these big lights on to give me like really strong light to be able to see what I'm doing. So I think it's probably my lights that are making it look a little bit brighter than it would look even in, you know, normal light, even daytime, which we have lots of at the moment. She says whenever she diamond paints, she listens to audiobooks too, or she listens to my videos. She says she finds too that it stops her thinking of a zillion other random things and helps her to relax a little. Yay for audiobooks, switching our brains off just a little bit. Oh, will you stick? This glue dot is extremely sticky today. Bella, she says for her it depends if it is rounds or squares. She says rounds she doesn't care as much. She says because they tend to be more forgiving than squares. Yeah, rounds you sort of can get away with. You can get away with squares a bit as well when you step back. If you take that minute to sort of step back and away from things, squares often aren't as bad. I think it's because we just have that straight edge on a square diamond that just makes us want it to be a very straight line. And it's not always. And not all of mine are on here at all. But I know that as soon as I step back, they are nowhere near as bad. So I try to stop being quite as much of a perfectionist on it, especially when you know, I'm trying to get a diamond painting done and I'm waffling at the same time and all the rest of it. I know full well they're not going to be as straight as they might be if I was doing nothing else at the same time. Sarah, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, well, she knew finishing before me yesterday was too good to be true. She said she's back to finishing her section well after me today. She says she does have a quick question. She said in the extremely rare chance, she said that we are lucky enough, are we allowed to win more than one prize this June, or is it just one win per person? No, it's one entry per competition, per prize that I'm offering. You can enter more than once, but do bear in mind there are quite a few hundred entries, so I would be surprised, though it could happen, for the same person to win two prizes. It is perfectly possible. We just ask it's one entry per prize that we're offering to give everybody else a bit of a fighting chance. Speaking of giveaways, we'll slip that one in there while we have a topic on it, but we do have a giveaway today, and the giveaway is from us this time. So it is one of our advent calendar diamond paintings in round, the Zesty Advent. And I'm probably not doing any favours trying to lift this up while my camera is zoomed in. Doesn't like to focus that much. But yeah, you can get yourselves one of our Zesty Advent calendars, diamond paintings, which is a 40 by 40 in round. So that's the prize for today. Let me just zoom in and be placing white diamonds while I confirm how you can enter the giveaway. So to enter the giveaway, you need to go to our website, addmorezest.com, and there is a giveaway tab. Across the top, if you're on a computer, if you're on a mobile, click on the three lines in the top right hand corner, and then down near the bottom you will find the giveaway tab. The password, so you need to enter a password to be able to get to the form, and the password is Advent. So Advent, all lowercase, because who needs to deal with capitals? And then it will confirm basically what we are asking for your information for, which is only the giveaway itself. Pop in your name, address, email address, and your YouTube username. All we ask is that you are subscribed to this channel, preferably to both channels, but we do ask that you're subscribed to this channel that you're on. So just check that the subscribe button is grey and not red. And the draw will close in 24 hours. And we will email the winner shortly after it's closed, and get the goodies out to people. As soon as they've responded and things have been posted, that's when I tend to pop up on YouTube who's won what prizes. As I'm filming this, I'm a little bit behind. I do need to put up who won the Kaiser painting, but by the time you're watching this, I probably would have popped it up already. So yeah, and then there are many more giveaways to come. Brianne, she says she's so sorry to hear about the accident with the diamond. She says she hopes it didn't cause too much of a mess. No, it wasn't a big mess as far as messes go, and it was pretty easy to clean up, to be fair. I was more annoyed with myself because it was just a silly knock of it again, and it was just purely the way I was moving about stuff in the craft room, which I seem to be forever doing, just trying to get as many things crammed in this one small room as I possibly can. She says she can definitely see herself making a mess with as many full trays like that. She says for her, she says she loves the tray storage, but she plans to use it to display all of her beautiful trays, not just to have them full of drills. She says it will be storage / display only for her. And that will be what I'll be using them for as well. So while I am planning on putting my 15 colours, Heaven and Earth design, in this tray storage to give that a go and help me get through that project, my main thing is to store my trays. To store my trays so I can see all the pretty colours. I'm also looking forward to being able to, quickly visualise what colour gaps that we may have and may want to fill in on some of them. I'm very tempted to store the trays in the colours that we release them, but I think rainbow order will be much more visually pleasing for me and will help me to see, where there's some gaps in tray colours alongside doing those that have been requested, because we do get requests for certain colours, and we and then we'll see new ones that are a little bit different and things like that. We try and mix it all up a little bit. She says she absolutely loves seeing all the purple in the section that was on the 7th. Not as much purple coming today. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I turned the diamond painting round, but I feel like the white is going on forever today. So maybe turning round the section wasn't the best idea. It's definitely easier to diamond paint on this way, with it being right at the top of the canvas. I've been able to sort of curl up this bottom edge just a little bit so that I can get to it, but it definitely feels like it's taking longer. Or maybe it's because of the heat. Elizabeth, she says, good afternoon, Rebecca. She says she loves the way that I use an app on my phone to pick which area of the canvas to work on. It's fun to do every now and then. I don't like doing it all the time, but I do think it's an every now and then fun thing to do. And I'm quite enjoying having a few large paintings kitted up at the moment and letting the app decide which one I'm going to work on. I feel like then when I get to diamond paint each evening, it's still quite fresh. Makes me want to kit up quite a few, but then it makes me think, how long will it be until I get any finished or dekitted? But maybe if I start adding them in, you know, when maybe I've nearly finished another one and sort of build them up. Maybe even according to my YouTube schedule and stuff as well, if I've got a gap and maybe I've nearly finished a big painting or I'm on the last few rows, or maybe I just fancy a change, I might kit up, say, another large painting and throw it into the mix as well. Who knows what the rest of the year will bring. She also says, regarding symbols, she calls the two black dots the grey alien. And one of them she calls a TV antenna. Is that the one that can be construed as rude, Elizabeth? Because there is definitely one that, depending on how you think of it, you can think of it as rude. Is that your TV antenna? That's a very safe option for it. She says, have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Tiffany says she has a symbol that she calls a pregnant stick. I like that one. Is that the one that is literally a line with a dot sort of attached to it? Pregnant stick. I think that one's, I'm pretty sure I've got that in one of my paintings that are kitted up at the moment. Maybe I'm going to have to start calling it a pregnant stick because I like that. Jan says she has done a small bit of multi-placing, but she enjoys the single placement much more. She says she's the same as me. By multi-placing, she feels as though she has actually done the whole picture. She feels like she's cheating when she uses a multi-placer. Laurie, got a long one with Laurie. She said today is her 72nd birthday. She says, woohoo, love it. And that was on the 8th. So happy birthday, or happy belated birthday for the 8th, Laurie. She said she started her day by talking to her sister Sandy and her quilting. She says she's picking up diamond painting again, but quilting really is her main love. And it's great for her, she says, as she has somebody who can machine quilt her quilts. See, that is what puts me off. All the machines that you need to just make it pretty. She says after a wonderful time with Sandy, she said she went shopping for her birthday and got 2 diamond paintings. Then she had lunch and came home to work on recording measurements for all of her art. She said it's going to be a huge task as she has over 50 pieces in her living room alone. That sounds like something that needs broken down daily. She says no diamond painting, as she did want to give her wrist a break from a massive dotting session yesterday. Well, it sounds like you got some me time in there. So diamond painting or not, you got your me time in. It sounds like you had a ball. She said she had to laugh this week as she has completely changed from having only one painting at a time to going so far as having 3 large paintings on the go with 4 kits of paint gem paintings all kitted up and ready to go. She said, yikes. She said, what caused the huge breakthrough? She says, well, she has been working on a Josephine Wall picture with 1 billion colours, and she started at the boring end. I do that. I start at what's classed as the boring end. As it made good sense to her. She said, what a challenge. She said, between all the different symbols and colours and the fact that it's double-sided tape and working on the chart upside down, she said she did lose all patience with that picture. She went to a stash and found a Randall Spangler picture, reading tree. She said that is very blocky, and worked on that for a row until the blockiness got boring. She said, so back to her stash where she had Diamond Art Club's Fuji Flora all kitted up from the beginning of her dotting hobby. She says, and it's a beautiful picture with beautiful colours, some confetti and some blockiness. She said, and just like a Goldilocks, she said, just like Goldilocks, it is just right. She said, so now she does 2 rows on a painting and then she moves on to her next painting. She says, hopefully she will be able to complete all 3 by 1st of August. Sorry, it was the American date. It took me a moment then. She said the 1st of August, as she has so many others to do in her stash. Yeah, I've got 2 large paintings kitted up at the moment. If we don't include my Heaven and Earth design, I've got 2 at the moment, and I do plan on adding a 3rd. And I've really been enjoying spinning my wheel as to which one it's going to pick. To be fair, it has been rather good to me recently in relation to that. So when I diamond painted last night, I don't think I got to sit down until gone 8 o'clock. And I was quite, tired, weary, thinking I'm not sure how long I could diamond paint. And I still spun the wheel, but it actually picked what I wanted it to pick, which was my Diamond Art Club Mystery, because I'm only doing that one section at a time. I sort of wanted it to pick that because I knew it would take me about 40 minutes to do. And I thought then, if I am tired, I can choose to stop for the evening. Whereas if it had chosen my Dreamer Designs, I more than likely would have uncovered more than one cover paper section, just because that's my habit with that painting, is to uncover more than one section. And then I would have got annoyed that I ended up sort of stopping it halfway through a section when I got too tired. So, and then there has been a time when I've kind of wanted it to pick Dreamer's Designs, because I've had a decent amount of time that evening and I wanted to get sort of a bigger chunk done and feel like I was moving through the painting. And it picked Dreamer Designs that time as well. So it's been kind of kind to me. She said, question. She said she would like to order the Advent painting and or the Advent calendar for her sister. She says she doesn't remember seeing the ability to ship gifts for others. She says, can I do it? Yes, we can ship to others. Basically, there is your billing address and your delivery address in the shop as an option. So you need your billing address to be your address, just to match up to your card and not cause any problems with the order. And then just ensure that the shipping address is the name and address of your sister. And if you want us to not include the invoice, then pop a little note on at checkout saying this is a gift, don't include the invoice, and we'll leave that piece of paper out for you. So yeah, we're more than happy to do that. Trish says the candlestick symbol always gets me thinking of something else. That's the symbol I was talking about before. What was it that she said she called it? TV antenna. So I'm wondering if the TV antenna is the same symbol as the candlestick. And yeah, what other names people have for it, but it definitely makes you think of something else. Sammy says, yay, thank you. She says, you're helping me finish my friend's Totoro diamond picture. Oh, so good, so good. I'm more than happy to keep you company while I am waffling and diamond painting, fighting with the glue dot today. It's definitely very sticky. It could be the heat that's causing it to be more problematic than I normally face, because of course us in the UK don't cope with this heat. We don't have houses built for it. Linda, she said symbol names. She said the last symbol I pointed to and called the T-junction, she said it reminds her of a 3/4 cross stitch symbol. So that's what ends up in her mind. 3/4 cross stitch, you know, that's right, you're good. That's just not entered my head as the first thing, obviously. She says it's funny. She says she works on her diamond painting most days as she's retired. She said so this month she's actually put aside some time to get some other things done. She says computer-based, fixing some file corruptions instead. She said so she's been doing a bit of painting like she normally does, and then a bit of fixing each day. Oh, I like that. If you get to diamond paint anyway, mix it up and throw something in there that maybe you still want done and you still enjoy in small bits, but at the same point you don't really want to do it. She said it works to get her to finish something she's needed a bit of a kick up the whatever to get done. And she's also trying to get her head around some of the newer features around tablets and phones that she hasn't had to deal with before. She said it's the fun thing about getting old and starting to hesitate about trying new stuff. I get there. I get you with that. I mean, I am the sort of age, should we say, the generation that has the benefit of knowing life before loads of technology. I'm just turning it round for these other symbols to do my splats and hoping my battery lasts. Yeah, I'm of the generation that grew up with an element of, you know, the new digital era, but not all of it. So I completely, you know how to live without it, can see the benefits and enjoy life with it. But even so, sometimes I am like, I do not need to learn yet another thing that they have come up with. But good on you for giving it all a go, a try, trying to get your head round, especially the bits that suit you. I don't think you need to learn everything, but I think, you know, having the gumption to learn things that you can benefit from in the long term is a great thing to do, and a great thing to, you know, a great way to look at it. Kathy, she says, sorry, I knew that battery would run out the last possible minute. I knew today's was taking me that bit longer, mainly because of the heat, I think. Sorry, Kathy says, she says, let's see. She said one of the symbols she has nicknamed, she said, is a spiral. She calls it honey bun or a cinnamon roll. I like it. Hey, honey bun, it's your turn to get some diamonds. I like it a lot. What do I want now? Let's go for number 6. Alice, she says, wow, she says this whip is coming along so nice. She said she's going to have to go back to yesterday's video and rewatch it, she said, because she did sneak in a nap. She says her daughter's birthday was on the 7th. And her son's is tomorrow on the 10th. And she said she knows it wasn't a smart move having them both together. She says, but at least I get a break, she says, between now and Christmas. Yes, we only have one summer birthday in this house. All the rest are far too close to Christmas. She said the worst thing about June Waffle and December Waffle, she said, is that she misses the daily videos when they're over with. I know. If I had that, 48 hours in 24 hours kind of thing, that I keep saying I need 2 days for everybody else's 1 day, then I'd do them daily. I just unfortunately can't make time work that way for me, no matter how much I try. But I felt like that was a bit more of a struggle today. But maybe, as I say, it's because I'm doing it in the afternoon. It's a bit warmer. Bit warmer than when I normally do it. I'm just giving those a little bit of a nudge. Get them a little bit straighter. But that is today's section. Today's giveaway is also announced with, of course, many more to come. We do actually head over to the left-hand side of the canvas tomorrow. So that should be nice. If you want to see where, of course, join us back here tomorrow. And we'll have a look and see how much colour tomorrow's section contains. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow.